Okay, guys, we're back out in the garage. A couple of days have gone by because I wound up doing a few other things, but we're now going to begin the process of dismantling the JAWA engine, and this is a JAWA JAWA 633-5 from 1974 on a 634 Oilmaster bike, which is kind of interesting. Apparently, these engines. Sometimes they used a 634 engine, sometimes they used the 633, which I think is called the Bison engine. They're essentially, as I understand it, very similar, if not almost identical engines. This one, the Dash 5, indicates that it has an oil pump, so it's got automatic oil injection, which is, some of the bikes did not have that. You'd actually have to use mixed fuel. This one, you can just throw gas in it and oil in a separate tank. It automatically mixes it. And that's why this one is the Dash 5. So if anybody's looking at this video wondering what engine it is, there you go. So we're just going to start with some basic stuff and take the, well, what do we want to call it? Kickstart or gear shift? Actually, I mentioned this before, but you know, we'll just mention it again. This is both the gear shift and the kickstart. So in this position, it is the, it's the gear shift. Can you see that? I don't have this camera in very good spot here, do I? But that is the, back this up a little bit. Okay, there you go. So that's the gear shift position, right? And then if you want to go and actually kickstart it, you push this in. It's a little easier on the bike. Push it in and turn her back, and there's your kickstarter, which is a little hard for me to do on the bench, but you get the idea. Then when you throw her back, that's your gear shift now. So that's kind of very bizarre, very unique on this particular engine. So don't know why. I really don't know why. It's got to be the wrong bolt in this thing, because I couldn't find a wrench to fit this thing. Everything should be metric, but you know what? I had to use a 7/16 wrench on this, so that's what we're using, as a 7/16 wrench. And yeah, a little interesting. I'll take that right out of there, I think. So I'll probably fast forward this so you guys don't see me actually working away here forever on getting this bolt out, but yeah. I think we just will got her there. Okay, there she goes. All right, great. Put that back in so we don't lose it. Always a good practice. Alrighty, so that's off. This, we don't no longer need this. It's gonna come off for me. Oh, you have to get a knife to do that one, but next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the carb off it. So just a couple of 10mm bolts on this thing. Now I've already had this off when I first got the bike. Of course, it wasn't running. It had been sitting for God knows how long, at least 20 years, maybe 30, who knows. And definitely wasn't, definitely needed some help. So this carb has been off, cleaned up already. But of course, as part of this process, this engine's got to split, and to do that, carb's got to come off. So that's what we're going to do now. And again, we'll fast forward through this so you're not, watching me struggle away getting a few 10mm nuts off. One. I grab my little magnetic parts tray. Oh, I see it's taking the whole stud out with it. That's all right. Quite all right. Okay, and there she is. There's the carb off. Perfect. So grab the gaskets here as well. So we've got a paper gasket, then a plastic flange, if you will, and another gasket. So the gasket against the engine and the gasket against the carb. I'm trying to be careful with this so we don't break it. Okay, definitely, I think I've got extra gaskets, but we want to hedge our bets. And I'm going to bag this stuff right away too, so I've been, I bag everything as I go so that I don't lose stuff, so I'm just going to go do that. Okay, so next step here, we're going to actually try to take the heads off here. There's some head bolts. I think there's 3 on each side here by the looks of it. There's also some flat-headed screws or bolts, whatever, but they're flathead, unfortunately, which is really terrible. Here, and I have a feeling they're going to be really hard to get off. I don't think this engine's ever been taken apart, or maybe it has. I don't know. If it has, it's been ages ago. But I'm going to use I'm actually going to use this impact here. This is a really good one. This is a vessel. Yeah, vessel. What would you call it? Manual sort of impact driver. So we're just going to give this a shot with a hammer, so we can loosen this off. Yeah, she's starting. I think she's starting to go. Let's see. No, she's not. Well, that's exciting. Maybe we're making progress here now. Oh yeah, okay, there's one. Good. Yeah, you get wiser as you get older, not to try too hard with the screwdriver first, right? Like just, if it looks like it's going to be hard, immediately go to something like that. And yeah, I mean, obviously this isn't a Japanese bike, but for Japanese bikes, you especially what look like Robertson screws, they're not, as you probably all know. Is there just the ones? Oh no, there's 2. How do you get into that one? Ew, there's a really ugly one here. Oh gosh, let me show you this. This isn't good. Okay, there is a really ugly flathead in here. Look at where that one is. You'll notice the flange for the, for the exhaust. Look at where that flathead is. How the hell are we supposed to get into that without breaking it? I don't know that I can get my my little impact driver in there, so that's going to maybe be a challenge. I'll have to think about this one. Okay, well, we're back. I've been giving it some thought, and I think that we'll be able to get at this screw a lot easier if we can take these heads off first. So hopefully we can. Obviously, you could normally take the spark plugs off, but you know what? It's gonna come with the heads. So let's try this first. Not on there ridiculously tight, which, well, that one's actually, if anything, kind of loose. Wasn't leaking at all, but yeah, not terribly tight. I'm just using a 3/8 inch socket here in case anybody's curious, so it's not nothing fantastic or hard to get these off. These are the other thing that's a little interesting. These are 15 mil bolts. No, excuse me, 14 mil bolts. Excuse me. Screws coming out. So let's see. We almost got it there. Got 2 of them. Oh, let's see. There's actually. Is there 2 on this one? It's a little weird. Gotta grab a magnet, guys. It'll just be a sec. Okay, let's grab this out of here. Oh, I see what happened. Okay. The top one fell into the bottom one. It had me confused for a minute. I was wondering why there's 2 nuts there. There's 3, so this should pop off now with a bit of luck. How about that? There should be. Got some washers. Should be 3 of them, I think. Only have 2. Interesting. Oh no, there's 3. Okay, cool. 3 washers, 3 nuts. That's good. So that's 1. So actually doesn't look too bad. There's the There's the head, doesn't look too shabby. Oh yeah. So you see a little bit of rust in here from when it was sitting, I guess. Interesting, because I had it running just fine, but yeah, definitely. Still see the crosshatch and stuff in it though, so it doesn't look too. We'll have to see when we get a little further into it, but yeah, so far so good, I guess. Yeah, I wouldn't call those really tight. I think I'm gonna have to look up the torque specs on this thing, because when I put the thing together, I'm pretty sure I'm doing them a lot tighter. So we'll look at the torque specs first, but that does seem very, oh I see, it's probably exactly what I did last time. I probably dropped it in there. You guys probably saw that on the video too, didn't you? Oh well. Live and learn. Could have got a smaller magnet here, but no, well, this thing works. Yeah, they're really not tight. Head number 2. Okay. Yeah, there's head number 2. Again, not too bad. I mean, stamped 633 as well, so some interesting sort of creasing or whatever on the head here. I think that's a manufacturing issue. Is this one the same? Yeah, this one's the same. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you guys camera really picks that up, but there's like it's like, you know, wrinkled skin. Not on the machine surface, the mating surface, but on the, you know, the head. It's the rust of the head looks a little bit, not super cool, but I don't think it matters. So let me show you inside the bore here a little bit. Let's take a look. So yeah, so inside the bore, I'm gonna have to flip this around. Okay, so there's inside the bore there. Yeah, interesting. It doesn't look too shabby. I don't know if it picks it up, but it definitely looked a little bit rusty in here. So, you know, this isn't why we're taking this engine apart. The thing actually runs really good. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what more we get into. The purpose of this is to fix, you know, the broken shift fork or the bent shift fork or whatever is going on inside the transmission. So it's this side, this thing splits, you know, it splits here and it splits here, but this is really where we're taking it apart, and in here is where we're going to get at those gears. So that's really the purpose of this pull down. I'm not going to go crazy on this engine, at least that's not my intention, but I guess if we see stuff that's not right, I guess we'll have to make some decisions. But yeah, anyways, I just thought I'd show you that. So on to the next thing. Okay, so now we're going to try and take those cylinder heads off. So that's what we're going to give a shot. So we've got the screwdriver here, and we're just going to give this a nice little gentle pry, and see if we can just pop that off. I'm kind of hoping I only have to take the one off, but we're going to see, I guess, as we go here. Okay. Alrighty, yeah. That was on there a little bit for sure. Wow, look at the rust, eh? Holy jumping duties. Holy smokes. That's a pretty significant amount of rust there. I mean, the cylinder itself looks pretty good, actually. You can even see the crosshatch on it still. But clearly dirty. And those bolts are really rusty. I wonder if we can turn them out and clean them up. Don't know. We'll have to see. Set this aside here. I wasn't gonna take this one off, but you know what? Now that I see how much rust is on here, I think maybe we better, just to go on and see what's going on. So this is gonna come off as well as the other one did. doing this gently so I don't break the fins. The fins are cast in the middle here. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm gonna try to pry most of my leverage during that part of it so I don't hurt anything too much. The thing is built a bit like a tank, so I don't think I'm gonna hurt it, but I'm gonna really try hard not to. Oh, she doesn't want to come on, baby. There you go. There she goes. Okay, yeah. Oh. Well, exactly the same deal on this one. Again, lots of rust. Wow. You know, it's unusual to see rust like that on a two-stroke. You know, it's not a water-cooled engine, baby, but clearly this one had a lot of moisture. Here's what happens when stuff just sits, eh? You know, machinery does not like to sit. Alrighty, so just double-checking what I'm doing here because I want to make sure that I don't put this up together wrongly. So I don't think you can actually put this together wrong, could you? Not unless you were, yeah, I don't really think so. But yeah, it's just what I'm looking at here. So okay, cool. Just looking at how this case splits here. So we may not actually have to take those pistons off. We'll see. I was thinking I may have to take the pistons off of the off the rods there, off the piston rods, but I think we can possibly pull this apart without. I did pick up some new gaskets because we're definitely going to need them. Interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, even the rods are a little bit rusty. Everything else looks kind of okay in there. Got a little bit of a tinge to them. Here, let me take you off the stand. I'll show you what I'm looking at if I can. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if you're going to really be able to see in there or not. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see. You see those rods definitely have a bit of rust as well. Everything moves really good though. I mean, I'm trying not to get myself in the way of the shot here, but yeah, well, I guess I should move. I'm gonna have to do this. Hang on a sec. Try to zoom you in there and we'll move her up and down. Yeah. Yeah, I imagine the other side is the same. Let's take a look. Let's take a look over here. So that was the right side of the engine. Now we're looking at the left side of the engine. And yeah, rod, I don't know if you can pick that up. I'm sorry for the terrible camera work, but that rod looks pretty much the same. It's just, it's more of a color of rust than it really is rust. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's too bad. I think maybe what we'll try to do is take these bolts out though and clean this up. Although that, I think, is going to be a secondary consideration. Really, again, the primary thing is to get this transmission looked at. So that's number one, and then we're going to go from there. So, okay, cool. You know, I'm just looking at this again, thinking maybe we could not take the pistons off, but you know what? This piston on, because we got to get this side off, we lower it down, it doesn't go low enough to get past the case. The case goes right here, so we're going to actually have to take this piston off. I'm pretty sure the rod itself will be low enough, but the piston has to come off for us to actually split this case. At least this one does. We may actually have to take both pistons off. We'll see. I don't know. We'll find out, but that's going to be part of it. Okay, other note to self, again, we're on the right side of the engine, right below the cylinder here. And we're taking this other bolt out. Again, I would say it's the same, about 2.5 inches long from right here. Okay, note to self. Okay, another note to self. There's the biggest bolt in the bunch. This sucker is, I guess, I don't know, 4.5 inches long, something like that, guessing. It's a little bit beefier than the others, I think. And it goes at the very back of the engine, right here. right here. Don't really know what it's doing, but anyways, it goes right back there at the very, well actually I said back. This is the very front of the engine, the very front, okay? All right. Okay, more notes to self on bolts. So we've loosened up the bolts here, and I will take them out with the magnet, and you'll see it as I do it. So we've got one here. Guess that one wasn't quite all the way out. Okay, you can see where that is. Bolt. All right, say 2 inches. Another one that's not quite out either. I guess I just loosen these. How long is this one? Same. 2 inches, I'd say. One here. Yeah, same. 2 inches. Okay, another one here. Okay, 4 inches. Or excuse me, 4 inches. 2 inches, 4 bolts. Yeah, they're all exactly the same. The ones that go inside the case here, and they're all about 2 inches long. Awesome. Okay guys, we're going to give this another go here, and we're going to take at least this one stud out. We may wind up taking them all out, but to get this piston, got to get this piston off, and not that it couldn't come off with this stud here, it's just going to be a lot easier if we get this stud out. Not only that, but look how rusty it is. I mean, it just makes sense to get it out of our way and cleaned up. So I'm going to try to do that gently. Look at that. She goes with the vice grip pretty nicely. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Wonder if somebody put some never sees on these or something. You know what? I'm going to. If somebody hasn't, when they go back in, we'll try to do that. It would be smarter, you know, if I'd put 2 nuts on the top here and ran them out. That would have been a lot smarter. But you know what? I've put the nuts away. But yeah, if you're doing this, probably better not to do it with vice grips. You know, put 2 nuts on it and then screw it out with that. These are so messed up from rust. I'm gonna have to take them out and use a wire wheel on them and clean them up anyways. So. And I'm being pretty gentle on it, so I think we're going to be okay. But yeah, don't do what I do. Don't do what I do. Oh gosh. No, I should have done that. It would have been easier. I'd have it out of there by now if I'd thrown a socket on it, eh? Come on, baby. Get the point we can actually turn it? No, probably not. Well, 2 jobs at once. We're taking the rust off at the same time here. Look at that. Okay, great. Have that stuff fall into the engine, no? Alright. 1 stud out of the engine. Nice. Yeah, there you go. Gives you an idea how... Come on, baby, focus. Can you see that? Yeah, pretty nasty. Pretty nasty as a representative example of all the others. Not very good. So, but now we can get at, you know, this a little bit easier. So, cool. Okay guys, well you know what, I've decided I'm just going to take all these studs out. I just think life will be easier, and I just feel bad about putting this engine back together with all this rust. So, not only that, but for cleaning the head up and stuff, it's probably just gonna be better to kind of get this stuff out of our way. So that's what you don't do. Always works a little bit better if you hang on to your wrenches when you're using them. But yeah, this is a lot easier. Now the nuts are a little bit offset from each other, and that's why I'm not just putting a socket on this or using the ratcheting end of the wrench. But it's not a lot of work. What the heck, let's just take these things out. We'll just zoom them out, and clean it all up, right? We'll feel better about the job. At the end of the day, I'm not doing this for anything but fun anyways. That's all this is just fun. Nice big 3D puzzle. Alrighty, we're getting a little smarter at this as we go. I think. Oh, maybe not. Helps if you turn it the right way. Wow, that one doesn't want to move, eh? Come on, baby. That one was really in there. The other two came out pretty easily. Alrighty, that one goes. Take our wrench off. Both have the same amount of thread each end. Just curious. Yeah, they do. Okay, cool. It's always good to know stuff like that, you know, when you're taking stuff out, so we want to make sure they go in. It doesn't matter which way they go in. Probably clean end in, I would think, would make sense. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. The rest of them, actually, these three actually are not bad. They're not bad. Well, maybe we'll leave them, or maybe we'll take this one out. Take that one out, just because this is the cylinder we have to work on, so this is one we gotta take off. So let's do this one. Okay. Charles. There we go. There we go. Come on, baby. I'm pretty sure these have not been out since this thing was assembled in probably 1974. So they've not been out in, gee whiz, how long is that? Oh, 74 to 2023. I think that's like 50 years almost. Almost 49 years. That's a long time. Back when the Czech Republic was part of the Soviet Union. And, well, I shouldn't say Czech Republic, should I? Because Czech Republic now, back when Czechoslovakia was part of the Soviet Union, that's where this bike was made, in Czechoslovakia. So, okay, we'll take those two out optionally. They're actually clean, so there's really, unless they're in our way, there's really not a lot of point. Now, the one thing I'm concerned about is when we take this piston out, I happen to know this thing doesn't have caged bearing or caged needle bearings in here. They're actually loose needle bearings. And the last thing I want to have happen is one to fall into there. So I need to mitigate against that somewhat. I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to do, but we're going to do something to keep them from falling in there. So that's going to be the next step. I think at this point I'm going to take a pause and do a little bit of thinking, because now we're really getting into it. So I want to be on my game for the next little bit here.